What's going on, YouTube? I'm out here on my boat. I got a day off from work, day off from fishing, wind's blowing a little bit. So when you've got a boat of this size, there's a lot to do to it. So today I'm going to go through and I'm going to polish up some of the areas back in here, because when we first get down here and do the outside of the boat, and that's still holding up pretty good, but we got a couple weeks left here. When I get back to New York, I'm not really gonna have the time, so I'm gonna take these old adhesive out of here and polish up these areas, the sides, the back, just put a really good coat of wax on all those areas, so when I get back to New York I don't have to worry about it. We just put the cover on the boat and just go on getting the business ready and back up running. So we've got the adhesive off there, knocked off with a razor blade. Gonna compound all up in here, compound all of this, compound all of that. Got my DeWalt buffer here, using some 3M Perfected rubbing compound. Stuff's expensive. I think it's like $35 or $40 a bottle. It works very well though, and I use it on almost all of my customers' boats that I detail, and it just gets the job done really quick if you know how to use it. And then I'll finish it up with some wax. So I'm gonna get after that and hopefully get this knocked out in about an hour. Another thing that you gotta do on a boat on your days off, at least what we do, is just take a look at all of your welds on your T-tops and stuff. We've had a few break up in there because we don't run on the nicest days, so we've had these repaired. We're gonna get them repainted once we know for a fact we've got them fixed. But you can see here, we cracked that one again. Like I said, we don't run on very nice days very often. We don't get a lot of nice ones in the winter time, so you gotta go through and make sure that your T-top's not gonna fall apart. Come on to the back, open up your hatches, just make sure nothing happened the last time that you went out. Make sure you didn't break a through hole or something. Make sure there's not an excess amount of water in there. Check all your hatches, make sure you got your tackle put back where it needs to be. Clean your fish box if it hasn't been cleaned in a while. Check more of your storage compartments. Down here, make sure your nets are clean. Cleaned up the nets last time we threw them. Just go through, make sure everything's ready to go, everything's clean, in good order. That way when you're out there and you need it, it's gonna work for you and you're not stuck with something that's not gonna work. Another thing that you want to check on is if you've got a windlass, go through and clean up that rope. Get the salt out of that rope. It'll help from corroding up all of your windlass accessories. Like in here, we've got our rope. Every time we use that rope, I spray a whole bunch of fresh water in there and try and drain it out, because we've got all of the controls for our windlass in here. And if it's corroding in there and it's wet and salty and it gets hot and it evaporates up, but it's got nowhere to go, it falls right back down. It's gonna rain in there. And I've already cleaned that whole box up before, but try and minimize things. So you can see, put a generous amount on the pad. Going like 1400 RPMs here. Spread out a little first, go slow, and then just work it in, and when it stops looking greasy, add some more compound and move on. You can run this compound for a really long time. It's got a lot of grease in it, and I've never burned through anything, and I use it on paint, everything, stuff like that. So if you know how to handle it, you don't really have to worry about that. Gonna keep on moving. Apply it pretty heavy. This is just a lot of oxidation here, so lay it on pretty heavy and just work it in. So I don't know if it's going to show up on the camera or not. You can see good reflection there, and it disappears almost completely over here where I have not done yet. Good reflection, and that reflection is going to come back even more when I throw some wax on there. So you see no reflection there, nice reflection right there. So we finished that up with the compound. Just gonna have to hit it with some wax. Probably get up in here with the wax. Really get the buffer down in there. I don't want to strip leftover paint on these screw heads. So time to move over to one of the sides. One last thing that you should always do on your day off is, come back and look at this. Got a latch open on our cowl. It's probably because we had a low oil alarm on that last time we went offshore, and pulled the cowl off and checked the dipstick to make sure we had enough oil in it to run back in. Must have just forgotten to push that latch back in. But if you got twins or triples, quads, whatever you got, always take a look at your heim joints here on your steering. Make sure that those joints haven't gone bad. You don't want those two motors coming out of sync running. That would really suck. Make sure that your steering's not leaking. Our steering system leaks a little bit, so we have to add fluid once in a while. We got the C-star plug right there. Just unscrew it. You got a fitting that screws in there. Turn the motors on, run it back and forth, and sucks new fluid in. And just little stuff like that you gotta stay on top of. Otherwise, when you get out there, and something happens, you'll be stuck and having a bad day. So just finished up in here. Just gonna wipe it all down and just gonna put some wax on it. Not gonna bore you with all the rest of it. I'll show you. Got a little shine in here now. Wipe a little off. So you can see it shined up pretty nice where you wipe it off. So like I said, just throw some wax on there. See this little part right here, which is gonna be a little tedious. I'm gonna grab some polish and polish these latches. Most of this stainless, and just gonna tidy the boat up a little bit, make it look more presentable. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment, and subscribe down below, and catch you in the next one.